Hello everyone, I'm going to be trying something new with this video, but still talking about YouTubers and stuff. See, there was a trend back in 2016 and 2017 called childhood trauma, where YouTubers would talk about things from their childhood that were traumatic. And I don't mean like events, I'm talking more like movies and TV shows and stuff. And I thought I'd throw my hat into the ring on a really old and dead trend. And since I'm part of the generation that grew up on YouTube and this channel is about YouTube stuff, I'm going to be talking about certain things that messed me up as a kid involving YouTube. I'm going to be talking about 3 videos that freaked me out as a kid, and comment down below if you saw this stuff as a kid and it also wigged you out. I'm also going to be linking them down below because you're going to notice a certain trend on me revisiting this stuff. Anyway, let's get into it. Weirdly enough, the first thing on our list, or the first thing I want to talk about, is a music video that has now become infamous, literally because I got the idea for making this video from a Twitter post that literally was captioned, "Does anyone else remember being traumatized by this video?" And it was something released 11 years ago, and it was a music video called Fantasy by the band called DyE. Now, I'm not going to show the music video, probably because, well, it's owned by a studio, so it's owned by a record label, so I don't really want to mess with copyright claims and all that stuff. But also, it's a bit fucked. And good reason, because it was also age restricted based on community guidelines and all that stuff. And how the hell was I allowed to watch this? And I was 7 when this came out. So yeah, basically the music video follows a group of teenagers as they sneak into a pool, do dumb teenager shit, participate in underage drinking, and a lot of fucked up shit happenings, including like an arm going inside of a person, and then that's a tentacle. And imagine if like Stranger Things mixed with The Thing, mixed with Riverdale somehow. I don't know why that resonates. It's just all fused and fucked up in there. And then after all that happens, our main protagonist escapes into a pool that turns into like a portal into another dimension, and then she is promptly blinded and burned to death by a figure of unknown origin, and it looks kind of cool. Now, first major thing after I revisited this, yes, all the trauma came back. This thing gave me nightmares for at least a month. I remember I would just wake up and I would just remember a pool in my dreams, so that's probably why I was scared of pools as a kid. But also, revisiting it, I kind of thought it was a banger. It was just a good song, legitimately. It's just like kind of like weirdly lo-fi. I don't know the best way to describe it. It's like an ambience, I guess. But hell, even this was so popular at the time for it being weird and traumatic that the React had literally a YouTuber's React to DyE-Fantasy, which is probably why this video blew up. It is currently at 68 million views, and it is one of their most viewed videos of all time. But also looking back at it, it's really beautiful. The animation is amazing, and it does give like body horror stuff, but I've kind of grown accustomed to that because I'm really into Junji Ito. I don't know, I'm in my edgy teenager / adult phase right now, so that's why I probably like it. And overall, like, that's sort of a trend you're all gonna be noticing. I find these less traumatic nowadays and more just like I admire for what these films taught me as a kid. Also, I think this was the major reason I got into horror right after this. That and Dead Meat, but you know. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. The next one I want to talk about is a short film called Teeth. And no, it's not like the vagina thing, the vagina movie called Teeth, which, I don't know, I still need to watch that movie. That sounds interesting. Teeth was made by Daniel Gray and Tom Brown, and I found it out through, I think, some channel. I can't remember the specific name. I think Vice uploaded it back in 2017. The thing I'm going to be linking is Alter, which is like another short film channel, which they don't make their own short films. I think they just buy them off or ask for permission to upload them onto their channel. It says 2019, but I looked it up. It was made in 2016 and 2015, so it makes sense why I would have watched it as a kid. Teeth follows a person who, from conception, is very obsessed with their teeth. They grow to hate them and stuff, and then they grow to like them, and it's really messed up and gross, and there's a lot of stuff with sound, so if you're really into sound or you really hate sound, there's a lot of grating shit in it. It's fucked up. There's some animal death in here. There's some traumatic stuff. It's called Teeth, so there's a lot of mouth shit in this one. But as I rewatched this, first off, yes, I did remember everything, because there was a scene at the end, which I'm going to be linking all these down below, obviously. There's a scene at the end where he bites off the own tip of his tongue, and it was nearing the end, and I thought, oh, why did I hate this one so much? Why did this terrify me so much? And then I saw the tongue fall on the plate, and I remember, oh yeah, tongue on a plate. But once again, I grew just to like this one. I love the art style of it. It's amazing, I'm not gonna lie. It has a solid narrative. It starts out with a person hating their teeth because they were abused by a parental figure because of their teeth, because they were a late bloomer and they, you know, all that shit. And overall, this is just a very well-made short. And I looked it up. It got like a crap ton of awards. Like just in a large amount. Holy shit. And it deserves it, obviously. And once again, I just grew to enjoy this one out of all of them. This was less traumatic and more just like, hey, good job, thumbs up. That's fucking cool, bro. The final one I want to talk about is a film called Jester. Now, this is technically a 3-part series, but we're only going to talk about the first part because that was the one I grew up with. If we want to explore the rest of them, that's cool. I'm completely fine with it because there's 3 chapters in total ranging about, I'd say, 30 minutes or so. But yeah, I watched this one and I realized why this one was the most traumatic, because this one out of all of them was the most traumatic for me, is because this was released at the peak of the scary clowns and the creepy clowns epidemic that happened in 2016. Now, to people who don't know, around the summer to late October of 2016, there was a massive amount of clown sightings, just out of the blue. No one really knows why this happened. There's just a shit ton of them. No, so, and this is like such an interesting thing because I just remember this from my childhood, because there was one thing that majorly affected me from this is because I was in Boy Scouts and stuff, and we were doing some stuff outside in like a parking lot of the church that we would go to and stuff. And we just remember seeing a clown with a machete across from there. And he just sprinted away down the street. And I remember as a small child, I was just like, Jesus shit. So yeah, now I understand why this one both grew in popularity and also affected me so much as a kid. Because this thing ended up getting 18.1 million views. And that's amazing because looking back at this, like the rest of them, I grew more and more impressed with it. It's a 10-minute short that was apparently made over 3 nights with a crew of 4 people and only $500. And then they made this that has like, hopefully like quadruple or quintuple the movie and all that shit. And then they later made 2 sequels, which didn't get the same amount of views as the other one, but still got a fair amount, I'm not gonna lie. The Jester just follows sort of just the, once again, creepy clown, creepy whatever hell you want to call it. It follows a man who encounters this character, known as only the Jester, who decides to play a bunch of magic tricks on him, one involving him slitting his wrist open, bleeding on the card, and then magically transporting the card into the guy's pocket, which I think is the reason why it was marked as both age-restricted and also had that special little thing where you have to click on it saying like, oh, this has self-harm, do you wish to continue? Yeah. It would later end with him just doing more chicanery and fuckery with this guy, putting a silver mask on him, and then making him teleport away with like the simple like fucking magic, I don't know, blanket tarp thing or whatever. I don't know what the hell you want to call it. He puts a blanket on him, whisk it away, gone away. And once again, as I said, this stuff just sort of just makes me appreciate filmmaking more. That's why I like being a filmmaker. Maybe that's why I'm happy I grew up on the internet, because I got to see all these people make independent shit. There was another thing I was going to talk about that I'm going to be turning into a full-length video. It was a short called The Face Shop, but I realized the more I looked into it, there's a whole lore of this shit. It's called Faceless Neil and all that stuff. And I'm going to make that into its own video because there's a lot of shit I could talk about there. But anyway, tell me what you guys thought about this video down below. Should I look up more shit? Tell me in the comments stuff that messed you up. Tell me. I need ideas for content. Anyway, y'all have a good night, good day, midday, good midnight. I'll be seeing you on the next one. And make sure not to die. Bye-bye.